Welcome back to Melissa, Arsenal Analyst. Today is Sunday, April 19th, and right now everything is on the line. Arsenal travel to the Etihad Stadium for a Premier League clash that could define the entire season. 6 points separate these two clubs at the top of the table. Arsenal sitting first with 70 points from 32 games. Manchester City in second with 64 points from 31 games. This is not just another match. This is the moment the title race either tightens dramatically or gets decided in Arsenal's favour. So let us get straight into it piece by piece, because there is a lot to break down today. The match announcement. The Premier League themselves set the tone perfectly with this message. Arsenal hunting their first title in 22 years. Manchester City hunting them down. Kick-off is set for 16:30 British summertime at the Etihad Stadium. The table tells the story clearly. Arsenal have played 32 games and collected 70 points with a goal difference of plus 38. Manchester City have played 31 games and sit on 64 points with a goal difference of plus 35. Now, here is what this really means. The Premier League framed this as a hunting game going both ways, and that framing is actually accurate. Arsenal have the points advantage and the goal difference advantage, but City have a game in hand. That game in hand is important. It means that if Arsenal lose today, City could close the gap even further depending on how their remaining fixtures go. The pressure on Arsenal is enormous. They cannot afford to come here and be passive. A loss today does not mathematically end their title challenge, but psychologically it would be devastating given the 6-point cushion they currently hold. Team news: the confirmed injury situation before this game is significant for both sides. Manchester City are without Ruben Dias, who is out with a hamstring problem. Guardiola is unavailable with a leg injury. John Stones is also out with a calf problem. There are no players listed as doubtful for City. On the Arsenal side, SAKA is confirmed out with an unspecified injury. Mikel Merino is also out with a foot problem. Listed as doubtful for Arsenal are Jurriën Timber with a groin concern, Martin Odegaard with a knee issue, and Ricardo Calafiori with a knock. Let me break this down for you. Manchester City losing Dias, Guardiola and Stones in one game is a massive defensive blow. Those are three of their most important defensive players. Their backline going into this game is significantly weakened compared to what Pep Guardiola would normally want. For Arsenal, losing Saka is always painful. He is their most creative and dangerous attacking player. But the bigger concern right now is the doubts surrounding Odegaard. If Arsenal's captain and primary creative force cannot start this game, the burden on other players to step up increases massively. The two teams are both going into this game wounded, which makes the tactical decisions even more critical. Before we go further, let me be direct with you. If Arsenal lose this game today, the title race does not end, but the momentum shifts entirely. City would have a game in hand and would be closing in fast. Arsenal have already dropped points recently, and another stumble here could cause real damage to confidence across the squad. This is the kind of game that defines seasons and defines squads. And if you want this level of detailed breakdown on every major Arsenal story, hit that subscribe button right now. Melissa, Arsenal Analyst, is here to give you the full picture every single time. Goalkeeper comparison. The goalkeeper comparison between Gianluigi Donnarumma for Manchester City and David Raya for Arsenal makes for fascinating reading. Donnarumma has made 28 appearances, kept 12 clean sheets, conceded 24 goals, made 67 saves and completed 110 long passes. Raya has made 32 appearances, kept 15 clean sheets, conceded 24 goals, made 51 saves and completed 173 long passes. Here is the part most people are missing. Both goalkeepers have conceded exactly the same number of goals this season, 24 each. But Raya has played 4 more games and still maintained that same goals against record. Raya also has more clean sheets, 15 compared to 12. What stands out most is the long passes completed. Raya has completed 173 long passes compared to Donnarumma's 110. That tells you something about how Arsenal build from the back. Raya is heavily involved in the attacking phases of Arsenal's play. Donnarumma leads in saves with 67 compared to Raya's 51, which suggests City's defence has put their goalkeeper under more pressure this season. On the balance of this data, Raya edges the comparison slightly, but both are elite-level operators. Arsenal last 5 matches. Looking at Arsenal's form across all competitions going into this game, the picture is mixed. Their last 5 results are as follows. Arsenal drew 0-0 with Sporting CP in the UEFA Champions League. Then they lost 1-2 to AFC Bournemouth in the Premier League. Then Arsenal beat Sporting CP 1-0 away in the UEFA Champions League. Then they lost 1-2 to Southampton in the FA Cup. Then they lost 0-2 to Manchester City in the EFL Cup. Let me give you my honest take on this. Arsenal have won just one of their last 5 matches across all competitions going into this game. That is poor form by any standard, and especially poor form for a team trying to win a Premier League title. The loss to Bournemouth in the league is the most damaging result in terms of the title race. But the pattern of these results also shows a team stretched across competitions, dealing with injuries and rotations. The Champions League win over Sporting away showed that Arsenal can still perform at the highest level when they are focused. The key question is whether Arteta can bring that focused, high-performance version of his team to the Etihad today. Manchester City last 5 matches. Manchester City's form over their last 5 matches across all competitions looks considerably stronger. They beat Chelsea 0-3 in the Premier League. They beat Liverpool 4-0 in the FA Cup. They beat Arsenal 0-2 in the EFL Cup. They then lost 1-2 to Real Madrid in the UEFA Champions League. And they drew 1-1 with West Ham United in the Premier League. Here is how I see this. City are building momentum at exactly the right time. Beating Liverpool 4-0 in the FA Cup is a statement of intent. Beating Chelsea 3-0 away in the league shows their attack is firing. The only real blemish is the Champions League loss to Real Madrid. City are coming into this game in better recent league form than Arsenal, and they beat Arsenal just recently in the EFL Cup. That result will give Guardiola's side confidence. Arsenal, on the other hand, will need to produce something different tactically and mentally compared to that EFL Cup defeat. Odegaard travel update. There was an important update regarding Martin Odegaard. He was included in the travelling Arsenal squad for the trip to Manchester. However, the final decision on whether he would be included in the official matchday squad was set to be made on the day of the game itself. Here is what you really need to understand. The fact that Odegaard travelled with the squad suggests Arteta and the medical team believed there was a realistic chance of him being available. Managers do not take injured players on long trips unless there is genuine hope of involvement. For Arsenal, having Odegaard even on the bench changes the dynamic of the game. His ability to pick a pass, create from deeper positions and provide leadership on the pitch is irreplaceable. Even 30 minutes from him off the bench in a tight game could be the difference. This update was genuinely positive news for Arsenal going into the match. Guardiola press conference revelation. Pep Guardiola made a statement ahead of this game that will have echoed through the Arsenal dressing room. Guardiola publicly acknowledged that if Arsenal win today, it is over for Manchester City's title hopes. That is an extraordinary thing for a manager to say publicly before a game. He admitted that a loss would effectively end City's realistic chance of winning the league. In an embargoed section of his press conference, Guardiola went further. He said that if City lose, he would shake Arteta's hand and then pray that Arsenal lose their remaining 5 games so City could still become champions. He added that he does not think that will happen and that City will try to win on Sunday. Here is my take on what is really going on. This is layered on multiple levels. On one level, it is a statement of respect for Arsenal's position. Guardiola is acknowledging the reality of the table. But on another level, this public admission creates enormous pressure on his own players. When your own manager publicly says defeat means the title is gone, there is nowhere to hide. Every City player knows exactly what is at stake before they even step onto the pitch. For Arsenal, hearing the opposing manager say that a win effectively seals the title should be the greatest motivation imaginable. Arteta would have made sure his players heard that message loud and clear. Tactical preview. The tactical picture for this game is genuinely fascinating. Arsenal are expected to press high and try to disrupt Manchester City early in the game. However, this approach carries real risk because City's build-up play is specifically designed to break high pressure. Guardiola uses a false 9 system to pull defenders out of position and create space in midfield, which is the exact area Arsenal would be pressing from. The key battle identified is whether Arsenal can control the midfield through Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard, or whether City dominate possession and dictate the tempo as they so often do at the Etihad. Another critical factor is Arsenal's threat from set pieces and corners. This has been an area where Arsenal have been extremely dangerous this season, and it is highlighted as a potential way to punish City. The final assessment is that City thrive on control and structure, while Arsenal will rely on intensity, energy and their threat from dead ball situations. Let me walk you through this step by step. Arsenal's high press is their identity under Arteta, but using that press against Guardiola's City at the Etihad is one of the hardest tactical challenges in world football. City are built to punish teams that press aggressively. If Arsenal press poorly and leave space in behind, City will exploit it ruthlessly. The set-piece angle is genuinely important. If Arsenal cannot break City down through open play, a set-piece goal could be the moment that decides this game. That is a realistic scenario given the defensive absences on City's side and Arsenal's quality from corners and free kicks. Arteta's final message. Mikel Arteta delivered his final message to his players before this game. His words were direct and clear. Go for it, let us be ourselves and go for it. Put everything that we have on that pitch, huge belief, huge conviction, and go for it, because we are more than capable. Here is how I see this. Arteta is not asking his players to be cautious. He is not asking them to sit deep and defend. He is sending them out to go and win the game. The phrase "we are more than capable" is significant. It is a direct acknowledgement that there are doubts swirling around this Arsenal squad right now after their recent results. Arteta is directly confronting those doubts and refusing to let them take hold. A manager's final message before a game like this matters. It sets the psychological tone. And Arteta's tone is aggressive, confident and committed to attacking football. Arsenal predicted lineup and injury update. The confirmed team news going into this game gives Arteta several important decisions to make. But SAKA has failed to recover from his Achilles injury and will not feature. Mikel Merino remains out. Those two are definite absences. The more complex situation surrounds 4 players who are fighting to be fit. Noni Madueke picked up a knee problem in midweek against Sporting and his availability is uncertain. Arteta described it as not looking too bad after the game and said he was hopeful, but made clear a final decision would depend on whether Madueke could train the day before the match. Martin Odegaard, Jurrien Timber and Ricardo Calafiori are all also working against the clock to prove their fitness. Arteta has indicated he would be willing to play Max Daumann if Madueke cannot recover in time, which is a significant statement given the magnitude of this game. Kai Havertz is expected to start in a role designed to help Arsenal hold the ball and progress up the pitch. EZE is expected to continue in the number 10 position. At right-back, Arteta faces a choice between Ben White and Christian Mosquera, who impressed in the midweek Champions League game. The predicted starting lineup is as follows. David Raya in goal, Ben White at right-back, William Saliba and Gabriel at centre-back, Hincapie at left-back, Marco Zubimendi and Declan Rice in central midfield. Noni Madueke on the right, Eze at number 10, Gabriel Martinelli on the left, Kai Havertz leading the attack. Now here is what this really means for Arsenal going into this game. The midfield pairing of Zubimendi and Rice is significant. Both are defensive-minded players at their core, which suggests Arteta wants to be solid and hard to break down before anything else. Without Odegaard in the starting lineup, the creative responsibility shifts heavily onto Eze and the movement of Havertz. Havertz dropping deep to link play is a smart tactical move against a City team that will look to press high themselves. The absence of Saka on the right means Arsenal lose their most direct and dangerous attacking threat. That is an enormous loss for a team that often builds so much of their attacking play through that right side. The hope that Madueke can fill that role is reasonable, but it is not the same. The right-back decision is also interesting. Mosquera impressed in midweek, which puts pressure on Ben White to perform, or alternatively gives Arteta a genuine option to shake things up. Whatever choices Arteta makes today, he is doing so with a squad that is stretched and tested. But as he said himself, this Arsenal team is more than capable. Everything about this game points to one of the most significant 90 minutes in Arsenal's recent history. The table position, the injury news on both sides, the tactical challenge, the psychological pressure, the manager's statements, all of it points to a match that could genuinely shape where this Premier League title goes. Arsenal are 6 points clear with a game more played. A win today would be a statement of the highest order. The situation demands that every Arsenal player on that pitch today gives everything they have. Arteta has asked them to go for it. Now the world is watching to see if they can deliver. Thank you for watching. Melissa, Arsenal analyst. If you found this breakdown valuable, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below telling me your prediction for today's results. I will see you in the next one.